Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn Conversational English. I'm Isabella.
And I'm Marco. Today, we're talking about work and workplace etiquette. You know, all those situations you face at the office.
Oh, this is such an important topic. I remember my first day at my current job. I was so nervous about introducing myself to everyone.
That's so common, though.
I kept overthinking what to say. Should I mention that my family is from Greece? Should I talk about my background?
I get that.
But you know what? It's actually pretty simple. Just something like, "Hi, I'm Isabella. I'm the new marketing coordinator. I'm really excited to be here and looking forward to working with everyone."
That's perfect. And you know, being Greek Canadian, I always found it easier when people asked follow-up questions like, "Where are you from originally?" Then you can naturally share more about yourself.
That's so true. Speaking of sharing about yourself, talking about your daily routine is another thing that comes up a lot at work.
And you know what I learned? Small talk is actually really important in North American workplaces. It's not just wasting time, it builds relationships. Yeah, like during coffee breaks.
Oh, yes, like asking, "How was your weekend?" Or "Did you catch the game last night?" I used to think it was superficial, but now I realize it helps people feel comfortable with you. People might ask, "So what does your typical day look like?" You can say something like, "Well, I usually start by checking my emails, then I have a team meeting at 9, and I spend most of the morning working on client presentations."
That's good. And speaking of emails, oh my goodness, email etiquette at work is so important.
Yes, I learned this the hard way.
What happened?
Well, in my family, we're very direct. You know how Mediterranean families can be. So I would write emails like, "I need this report by tomorrow." But I learned that in English business culture, you need to be more polite.
Oh, absolutely.
Now I write, "Hi Sarah, I hope you're doing well. Could you please send me the quarterly report when you have a chance? I'd appreciate having it by tomorrow if possible. Thanks so much."
That sounds much better. And phone calls can be tricky too. I remember being confused about how to answer the phone professionally. And what about instant messaging at work, like Slack or Teams? That's another area where tone can be tricky.
Oh, definitely. Messages can sound harsh without emojis or context. I learned to add please and thanks, even in quick messages. Instead of just "send me the file," I write, "Could you send me the file, please? Thanks."
Something like, "Good morning, this is Marco from the design department. How can I help you today?" It's simple but professional. And video calls, they became so important during the pandemic. There are specific phrases for technical issues too, like "you're on mute" or "can you hear me okay?" or "your connection is a bit choppy."
That's great. And meetings can be overwhelming when English isn't your first language.
Tell me about it.
I used to just sit there and nod, but now I participate more. If I don't understand something, I say, "Could you clarify that point about the budget?" Or if I want to add something, I'd like to add that our customer feedback shows.
That's really good. And you know what's even scarier than meetings? Asking your boss for time off or a raise.
Oh my gosh, yes. I was terrified the first time I asked for vacation days to visit my family in Greece.
How did you approach it?
I scheduled a meeting and said, "Hi, Jennifer. I'd like to request some time off in July. I'm planning to visit my family for 2 weeks. I know it's our busy season, so I'm happy to work extra hours before and after to make sure everything is covered."
That shows responsibility.
And asking for a raise is similar. You need to prepare. Show your accomplishments. Be specific about what you're asking for, and explain why you deserve it.
Absolutely. Now, what about dealing with difficult coworkers? That's always challenging.
Oh, I've had experience with this. There was this one person who would always interrupt me in meetings.
That's so frustrating.
Speaking of workplace conversations, performance reviews are another big one. I remember being so nervous about my first annual review because I didn't know what language to use.
Oh, those can be intimidating. What's your approach now?
I prepare by writing down my accomplishments and challenges. For accomplishments, I say things like, I successfully increased our social media engagement by 30%, or I completed the project ahead of deadline. For areas to improve, I'm honest but positive. I'd like to develop my presentation skills further, or I'm working on being more assertive in meetings. I learned to say things like, I'd like to finish my point first, and then I'd love to hear your thoughts, or let me complete this idea, and then we can discuss both perspectives.
You mentioned presentations. That's something many people struggle with, especially in a second language. Any tips for workplace presentations?
Oh, definitely. I always use transition phrases to keep my presentation organized. Things like, first, let me show you, then, moving on to, and finally. I also prepare for questions by thinking, what if someone asks about, and having answers ready. And if I don't know something, I say, that's a great question. Let me get back to you with those details.
And sometimes you need to give feedback to colleagues or even your manager. That requires delicate language, especially when pointing out problems.
For sure. Now, let's talk about job interviews. That's where workplace communication really matters. I learned to use I statements instead of you statements. Instead of you didn't explain this clearly, I say, I'm having trouble understanding this part. Could you clarify? It's less confrontational and more collaborative.
Oh, interviews are nerve-wracking in any language, but especially in your second language.
The key is preparation. Practice common questions like, tell me about yourself, or why do you want this job? And remember, it's okay to take a moment to think before answering.
Good point.
And networking. That's something I had to learn. In Greek culture, we're very family-oriented, so professional networking felt strange at first.
I understand that, but it's really just about building genuine relationships, isn't it?
That's true. Instead of thinking, I need something from this person, I started thinking, how can we help each other? It made conversations much more natural.
And simple phrases help, like, what kind of projects are you working on? Or, how did you get into this field? Another thing that can be challenging is workplace social events, office parties, team lunches, after-work drinks. The conversation is more casual, but you still want to be professional.
Exactly. I stick to safe topics like weekend plans, hobbies, or travel. I avoid controversial subjects like politics or personal financial issues. And I always have a few conversation starters ready, like, have you seen any good movies lately? Or any fun weekend plans?
We really have. From first-day introductions to networking, there's a lot to navigate in the workplace.
Remember, everyone, the key is practice and being patient with yourself. Professional English takes time to develop.
Isabella, since you mentioned your Greek background earlier, I'm curious, what are some cultural differences you've noticed in workplace communication between Greece and North America?
Oh, there are quite a few. In Greece, we're more expressive with our hands when we talk, and we stand closer during conversations. Here, I learned to be more aware of personal space. Also, in Greek business culture, we might have longer discussions before making decisions. while North American workplaces often value quick, efficient decision making. I had to adapt to shorter, more focused meetings.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for listening to Learn Conversational English today. We hope these tips help you feel more confident at work.
Join us next time for another conversation. Until then, keep practicing.